Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Reena again. I am back here to talk about the Project Shapeshift Milestone 2 event that we just wrapped. And joining me today is VP of Product Marketing, David Wang. David, what did you think? Really exciting news today.
Yeah, we're really excited because Milestone 2 has gone live on the wire. And we got a lot of big news happening in the open source world for Apache Druid.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that was so exciting is like right before this happened, Druid 24.0 got pushed live, which also meant that now MSQE, our multi-stage query engine, is now a part of Druid. And I think that takes Druid to like a whole new level. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think the way to think about MSQE and the new multi-stage query engine is that it's probably like the single biggest expansion for Apache Druid since its first inception back in the early 2010s. And that makes it really exciting for us because we're adding a whole bunch of new capabilities that makes Apache Druid the go-to database for building analytic apps.
Yeah, and I mean it's not just about us at Imply too. This is like huge for open source Druid, and I think a lot of folks at Imply, including Gian, our CTO, worked on making MSQE a reality. So that's really exciting news.
Yeah, for us, it's about giving back to the community, right? We are an open source company. We're committed to open source. And so when you look at this big piece of innovation, it's about advancing the open source project. And specifically when it comes to MSQE, it's really about making the developer experience even better. And so the multi-stage query engine makes batch ingestion really easy. It eliminates a ton of tuning parameters. It brings an in-database transformation, and then it has this like future roadmap as well that enable new types of workloads, new type of queries that we can do on the database.
Dave, you just mentioned something really interesting about developer experience, and I know that's kind of one of the things we're really passionate about here at Imply, and it's kind of kind of our whole business.
Hmm.
One thing that was interesting was the total value guarantee, right? And from my perspective, I think it actually has a really interesting part of the developer experience where it de-risks like
Hmm.
getting involved with us and moving from an open source technology to maybe a more supported function, because you never want to invest in a technology and then spend all this money and find out it doesn't work for you. So can you tell me a little bit more about Implies total value guarantee?
Yeah, absolutely. TVG for short is really our commitment to the open source Druid users out there that if they were to partner with Imply, and partnership means, leveraging our expertise, leveraging our support, leveraging our cloud products, then they're going to actually save money, which means that the partnership they get with Imply is effectively free, which is actually kind of crazy if you think about it because when people think about open source, they love the fact that there's no lock-in. They love the fact that they're part of a community. They love that the software, they can contribute back to it. All of that still exists with Imply, but now they actually have a partnership that they can get to, someone they can call in the middle of the night if they need help. And it all comes as part of the experience of working with Imply. So they get what they love about Druid and they get what they love about Imply, and their net TCO is flat. It's the same, if not saving more money than that.
And that like also helps overcome one of like the biggest challenges with open source, which is like fixing your own issues all the time and having to go through that process. Like any open source technology, you always have to like look up the solution and figure out the best way to do things. And so that's really cool that we're doing that. I'm actually going to stick on like the developer experience for a minute and then switch gears over to there was some Polaris news that was really exciting. We've added a bunch of new features, and I'm a little bit new to Imply, but I know that Polaris is probably like the fastest way to get up and running on Druid if you want to like start there. Can you tell me a little bit more about some of the things that we've added to Polaris?
Yeah, absolutely. So we launched Polaris in March of this year. So, like, what, 5, 6 months ago? And it's
Mm-hmm.
been really exciting for us because even over the last several months, like, we've gone from like GAing, making it available. And recently we were able to show that over 250 accounts have been created. And so we have lots and lots of developers that are trying out Polaris. And it is the easiest way, like you said, to get up and running and using Apache Druid and building analytic applications. And so we're really excited about the momentum that we're seeing from Druid users on the adoption of Imply Polaris. What we're announcing this week, today at Milestone 2, is a bunch of new innovations. So things that make ingestion a lot easier, things that make the developer experience and providing monitoring and visibility and alerting in Polaris that makes things easier for them to get out of the business of maintaining a database, right? And really focus on their applications. And so we provide all the tools, we provide the capabilities, we provide all the monitoring and visibility. And then the last dimension is really more flexible ways of doing pricing with Polaris. And so we added a new type of project that is complementing the kind of compute intensive project sizes with general purpose projects and really allowing more flexibility so developers can have the best config for the best price for performance they're looking for.
So to summarize, we're making it easier and have better price flexibility. I mean, I don't really see like a downside there. I feel like everything that we've talked about today, or everything that our speakers like went through, are just amazing, stepping stones in this journey that we're kind of going on with Apache Druid. And we know there's more to come. It's only milestone 2 of, a few. We're only halfway through. Or even how many milestones do we even have, David?
And we have 2 so far, and we got the next one coming up in a few months. But yeah, lots of big innovation happening in the open source Druid side.
Yeah, I'm excited to see, what comes next. And yeah, hopefully everyone will join us. So we'll see you for milestone 3.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thanks, David.